Hey guys, what's up? Dan Berlew here. Thanks for coming back to my channel, Double Back for Ammo. And I just wanted to take a few moments to kind of share my thoughts about the terrible news that we got today about Ascendant Studios, brand new game development studio from former alumni of Dead Space, Call of Duty, and other prominent AAA projects, suddenly laying off 40 to 50% of its staff just a month after releasing its first game, Immortals of Aveum. This is terrible news, of course, for these developers, but I just kind of want to examine this whole situation. So yeah, Immortals of Aveum came out in late August, I believe. It's the first game from Ascendant Studios. It's developed in Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, and it had like some fantastic promotion to it, great promotional materials to it, but the problem is that just nobody bought it, nobody played it. Its numbers are sincerely low. The announcement was announced today by Twitter by Brett Robbins, CEO of Ascendant Studios, in one of these graphic image statements. It is kind of a nice statement. He does say that he's heartbroken about doing it, and I do generally believe him. He's also saying that these people are all basically trained in Unreal Engine 5, which is what a lot of studios are using for their development nowadays. If anyone would like him to recommend any of these people for a job, he's more than happy to do it. And that's certainly nice and certainly a good way to handle it. Nobody wants to lose their job. I get that. I don't want to lose my job. But the fact is, when you turn developers loose, you're not necessarily putting them in a critical condition. Developers are in high demand, especially highly specialized, highly skilled developers trained in platforms like Unreal Engine 5. So if you happen to be watching this and you're one of those developers, you have my sympathies. It is a setback. I get that. But I'm pretty sure you're all going to land on your feet. There are some estimates going around that some websites are thinking that maybe this has impacted probably about 40 to 45 people. That's no small number. So what happened? Why did this game fail? Why did Baldur's Gate succeed where this game clearly failed to gain any traction? I mean, it's basically like a first-person shooter with magic, and it's got like a banger of a trailer here. I was certainly I'm sorry, I'm kind of reading off the screen there. I was certainly, kind of excited about this. I was definitely thinking about checking it out. But then when I went to the Steam page, I saw something that kind of made me hesitate, and I want to show you what it is. So here we are on the Immortals of Aveum page on Steam, and as you can see, it's got a bunch of great reviews from a lot of places, a lot of 9 out of 10s and things. A lot of things that should sell it, correct? But it's also out on consoles. I do want to say that. So, the requirements probably aren't as high on a console, or maybe the performance isn't as good. I haven't checked it out on a console. But the main problem that I see is right here. So yeah, the minimum requirements are pretty steep. I mean, not the processor. I have a processor kind of like that in my current system right now, but look at that graphics card. I myself have a 2060, an RTX card in my system, and the minimum requirements for this game is a 2080. So I immediately looked at this and said, well, my current computer isn't going to be able to play this, so I'm not going to buy it on PC. And I think maybe that's what caused a lot of people to hesitate to buy this. As far as your first game having real high-end requirements, that's not a great idea. Especially when you're a new studio who is trying to get yourself out there and trying to get yourself on as many computers as possible and get into as many streams as you want to. You definitely want to cover a broad base of PCs. You want to be playable on a lot of systems. Just for cross comparison, here we are on the Baldur's Gate page on Steam also, and I want to go down here and look at the requirements. And as you can see here, this thing will run on a NVIDIA GTX 970. I mean, that is a really low set of specs for a computer game. You probably won't get the best graphics at that rate, but you definitely don't have to have a high-end computer. The recommended specs, of course, actually have the NVIDIA 2060 Super, which is my card. So yes, I haven't bought Baldur's Gate yet. I haven't tried it yet, but that is frankly more encouraging to me to buy it on PC and enjoy it. So while I certainly don't understand all the ins and outs of Unreal Engine 5 development or trying to get that over to consoles, I will say that when you are an emergent studio, you definitely want to try to get your computer software on as many systems as possible in order to cover as much of the market as possible so that you can make as many sales as you need and get your games out there, get your name out, and impress the fans, and definitely get yourself on more computer screens. In my 13-year career as a strategy guide author for video game guides, I had to go and travel to a lot of game development studio offices. Sometimes they weren't really happy about trying to let the ROM out of their hands, so we would have to, our publisher would have to send one of us authors out to the office. For example, I visited Nintendo several times and sat there in order to play several games for Prima Games, for some of the Prima Games guides that I wrote. And I also had to travel to Indianapolis to work there at my publisher because the developer would only agree to send the ROM there. I also spent some time alongside developers and translators and also marketing people at those companies, and also at EA, where this game is apparently associated with Electronic Arts still, at the giant EA campus there in Redwood City outside San Francisco. And those people, when you talk to them, they have a rather fatalistic view of their line of work already. They consider themselves disposable and replaceable, and it's quite common for developers to move around between studios. In fact, EA, when I was there, a lot of the people that I were talking to were contractors, and when their contract was up, when the game that they were working on was going to be finished, they would no longer be at EA. They would no longer be allowed in the building. And, that seems like kind of a, tough way to go. But the fact is that once you've worked at one studio, your skills and your background are going to be highly in demand by other studios. So again, sorry that those people lost their jobs, but not really too sad about them or their future. They're all going to go on and do great things, whether they work for a company or whether they start up their own projects, which they probably should think about. So I just want to hop in the middle of your day and share some thoughts about this situation and try to show you the upside if I can. If you enjoyed this video, please click that like button and subscribe to see more like this. And I enjoyed doing this, and I think I'll make more videos like this where I just talk about the news of the day and other events like that. So if you enjoyed it, please subscribe and come back. Appreciate you, and hope you have a great day. See ya.